Everyone, I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and I'm standing here with our EOC Director, John Scott. We want to, as we become accustomed to doing, give you an update on the storm. And the first thing I want to say before John jumps into some of the tracking and some of the speeds and stuff is this is a storm that we are going to pay close attention to. It's a storm that we're going to be ready to respond to, but it's not a storm that we're going to need to react to. And there's a big difference between those. We want everybody to stay calm. John's got his game day shoes on, so we know it's game day, but stay calm. This storm, as massive as it is and as big as it is, the way it's lining up to hit the West Coast, by the time it gets to us, it will have lost a lot of that energy, a lot of that strength, and we're probably looking at what, one or maybe even tropical storm.
Yeah, Sheriff, I think, good afternoon, Brevard. Like, we're talking about when it gets to us, probably a low-end Category 1 and a strong tropical storm winds are what we're talking about. And it's really important because that's probably more wind than a lot of us have seen in a while. So that's not nothing to downplay, but to your point, you know, I know a lot of folks are very anxious. We saw it bump up to a Cat 5. That gets us all very excited. We all want to pay attention, but it's got a long ways to go. It's still very much just on the other side of the Yucatan Peninsula. It's got a long ways to go in the Gulf. As you said, it's likely to lose a lot of that strength. It's going to be still a big deal, and unfortunately for our friends on the West Coast, a Cat 3 when it makes landfall there, but as it comes across, it loses that energy, and we're going to see that sort of that low-end Category 1 hurricane, strong tropical storm force winds. So that's still 70, and rain, a lot of rain. Yeah. That's still 70-mile-an-hour winds. So it's nothing to sort of get, you know, to dismiss now that, but we should be in a good position to handle those kinds of things.
Yeah. I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing at all of our sandbag locations. People are taking the storm serious, but as we said, you know, this is a storm that we're going to get impact from, but it's not one of those that we need to panic over and react to. And I think the best way I can say that is if you drive by and you see John and I running, get worried about it. Other than that, just hold tight, hunker down, get your things ready, all your medications, make sure you're taking care of your pets, cleaning up your yards, all the things that we do pre-storm so that we don't have any problems after the storm. So let's talk about the track of it, John.
Yeah, so again, storm is still very much on the other side of Yucatan, close to Mexico. It's got a long ways to go. And like we talk about when we do these storm updates, right, we don't want to get too focused on the center track, right, because impacts extend beyond that. So again, we're going to see strong tropical storm force winds, so winds in the 70-mile-an-hour range. We're going to see maybe even hurricane, so in the 80-mile-an-hour range. And then we'll see gusts beyond that. So like, now we want folks putting shutters up, getting ready, as you said, getting that debris, all those kinds of things. And then the rain's coming with this as well. So we're going to be talking about 6 to 8 inches of rain, but that's not all on Wednesday or Thursday with the storm. That's between now and Thursday. And we know it's wet out there. You know, we know it's in streets. We know it's in yards. It's in ditches. That's okay. We continue to be able to handle that. Some areas may see some higher numbers as they get sort of those repeating rain bands in there, but we feel pretty good about where we are. We're going to be wet, but we're feeling good about where we're going to be when it comes to water in people's homes.
Yeah. One of the things that a lot of people may not know is here at the EOC, we have all of the players at the table. So if you go in the room next door to us, at times there'll be 150 people in that room from all different aspects. Animal control, public works, just everybody all working together. So when John's giving us this information, he's working with Public Works to know what our saturation levels and everything else look like. So it's a great team effort that really works when our citizens are partnering with us as well to make sure they're doing their things. You know, like I said, we're seeing massive turnouts at our sandbag locations. We had a little bit of a glitch this morning in getting some of the sandbags delivered. We've been able to work through that, and now all of the locations are fully operational. The inmates are out there working their butts off. They are literally doing everything they can to load the cars as quickly as possible. Again, we have 4 locations that are working. Chain of Lakes in the north end for the beaches in Merritt Island. We have Mitchell Ellington, Wickham Park for our Melbourne and Vieira group, and then Eastern Florida State College, Palm Bay campus. So we'll be open today until 6. The inmates, as I said, are working as hard as they can. We're having to break them a little bit, get them something to eat and hydrate, but they're loading them up as fast as they can. We're going to continue that process tomorrow, so we'll be back operational tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock and continue for as long as we can, as long as supplies last.
Yeah, and again, we talk about the timing. I think it's an important, but we have all day tomorrow to get ready as well. I know sometimes we look at graphics, we try to figure out what times are coming. You know, we talk to the National Weather Service, we're talking to the National Hurricane Center, and for Brevard, we're really talking about Wednesday afternoon, maybe into evening, when we start to see those heavier winds begin to move through. And they'll be with us for a good portion of Thursday, if not all day Thursday. So those are the big days we're looking at. So again, folks need to use today, tomorrow, to make those last minute preparations to really make sure they're tight.
And please help your neighbors out. Some of our seniors and stuff might need a little bit of help in getting debris out of their yards or getting their furniture and stuff, their outdoor furniture situated. This is a great community, Brevard County. We all pull together and work shoulder to shoulder to keep everybody safe. So just make sure you're checking around your neighborhood and checking on all those that might need our help. John, let's talk about schools.
Yeah, so schools, both BPS, Eastern Florida State, and FIT all announced that they'll be closed Wednesday and Thursday. We'll continue to monitor the storms and reevaluate with their teams. So that's continuing to move those things. I know folks may have questions about county government. We're going to be making those decisions tomorrow as we go forward. We're going to continue to look at those things. I know cities are doing the same thing for their jurisdictions as well.
Okay. So shelters.
Shelters, I know, shelters and evacuations are popular questions right now. I think we want to talk about two things. This isn't a regular landfalling hurricane for us, so we're not going to have a storm surge threat, so we're not really going to be talking about barrier island evacuations. The groups that we're most focused on, because we're going to see wind, because we're going to see rain, are those that maybe live in mobile and manufactured homes, campers, flood-prone areas, anyone with power dependency. We're going to be focusing in on those groups. We're still evaluating our shelter decisions. We expect to have something tomorrow for everyone. But again, I want to highlight, we have a full day to do things. We can still do some things on Wednesday. So the longer we wait, the better data we get, the more our decision gets to sort of hone into that right point, and we sort of do what we always talk about, which is making sure we have the right resource for the right need.
So we're hearing from our partners at Waste Management that they're going to continue their normal schedule for how long?
At least through tomorrow, and then they'll reevaluate how that goes, and obviously wind and track and all that kind of stuff. But
landfill's normal operation.
Landfill normal operation as it is
Public
now.
Works.
If we have to announce, we will.
All right. Courthouse is going to be closed starting at noon tomorrow, and that'll be through Thursday, and that may extend into Friday depending on how things go with the storm. Again, right now is the time to make your last minute preps. Get your snacks, whatever. So I always touch on snacks. That's important to me. But
right there with
make sure that you're getting water and anything that you need, not just for you but for your pets as well. And then just securing the house, putting your hurricane shutters up, yard furniture being brought in, everything else. Again, we got time, but we don't want to wait until the last minute, obviously. And sandbag locations, I'm going to touch on that real quick again. Chain of lakes up in the north end, Mitchell, Ellington on the island and for the beaches, Wickham Park for the Vieira and Melbourne area, and then Palm Bay, Eastern Florida State College. Open today till 6, tomorrow from 8 to 6, or as long as we can keep the team out there and go. John, anything else?
Again, just highlight and reinforce what we've been talking about. We're definitely going to see some strong winds. Not the craziest winds, what our friends on the West Coast are unfortunately going to experience. So we need to take it serious. We need to make sure we're paying attention for those things. But there's a lot we can do today to lessen those things like shutters. And do what we're doing here at the EOC. We're preparing for a strong tropical storm, low wind category 1, and making sure that if something changes, we adjust with it. So, and I think what you always talk about is what's always important, right? Is we come together as a community on this stuff. We prepare year round for this. It really is just about executing that kind of mission, right? That's what we're always talking about.
And again, our community always helps each other out, and we just need everybody to just be ready for it. We want to respond to this, not react to it. And I really think the massive size of this storm is starting to scare people a little bit, especially some of you that may have never experienced a hurricane before, new to our area or new to the state of Florida. This is one of those that when you're prepared for it, we all get through it safe and everybody's ready to go back to work the next day.
Absolutely.
All right, John, great job, buddy.
Yes, sir. As always.
We'll be checking back in with you, get you an update as soon as we can.